Hi, Senyah. Good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening. I am simply outstanding. How you doing, Robyn?
Doing very well. Just wanted to give a brief introduction to you. Senyah is actually another veteran contributor to from a Black perspective, both the blood and the people. She actually has a major part when it comes to the artwork for both cover pieces. She contributes in a way that she writes both literary art works, transitions, and shatter. I just wanted to talk with you a little bit about what you contributed in both pieces and what struck me most. So, transitions for me. I understand the story is a myriad of stories regarding unprocessed trauma in the lives of people in the Black community. Can you share the significance of the collision of these particular characters and their lives depicted throughout the story?
Sure. I like the use of the word collision, because what is that? It's jarring, it's sudden, it's unexpected. Well, I guess sometimes collisions are expected, but I like the jarring aspect of it. Um, I think that the significance is that when you switch perspectives, as transitions does,
Mhm.
it will be a slice of life for one group or person, and then that momentary encounter they have with someone else, we shift to
Mhm.
their perspective and what's going on. And I think that, I don't know, it's like that's a big part of the human experience. We're just kind of like all atoms bumping into each other, some group together for longer bouts of
Yes.
times and some just kind of bump apart, you know. And the significance is really that the thought of looking through someone else's eyes at the moment of meeting is an exercise I've been doing all my life. I remember doing that as a child. I would be in the
Mhm.
car driving, my mom would drive, and I just look and I see someone else in their car. And then I realize,
Mhm.
just like I'm looking at them and my mom's yelling at me or whatever, they're looking at me and they've got some life thing going on. And, it can just jump, jump, jump. That has always just really fascinated me. So, I guess the significance of the collision is that we are all colliding, if you will, in and out of other people's experiences. And I wanted to see how there is like an unbroken chain, really. And I thought it would be interesting to explore that.
Thank you so much for that. I figured you'd have a similar response, Senya. The most compelling of stories within transitions to me was the story of Shonda, a grieving Black mother and wife, and hardworking attorney Bruce. How could Shonda live without the love of the two that she adored most, her son and her husband, who had been taken at the hands of police? And then also, Bruce seems to have had it hard wearing so many hats, trying to strike work life balance. Can you share how this story was developed?
So you're talking about that particular segment of the entire story.
Yes, ma'am.
So Shonda, well, as with most of my work, I consider myself like a literary quilter or collage artist, if you will. I I live a
All
life,
of
I
this is
experience
layered.
things. Yeah, yeah, I experience things and I just curate different pieces and put them together. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, most of my work, maybe all of it, like it will have something that's real somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I've met at least 2 to 3 Shondas where, I mean, I live on the south side of Chicago. I involve myself in different, restorative practices, peace circles, healing circles. And I've met
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3 Shondas where, yes, the police killed my child. Yes, they killed my man. And it's like,
Yes.
my God. So like, those are real people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I I like the interplay between her lawyer Bruce, who
Mm-hmm.
not living her life, doesn't live in her hood, doesn't live, he has his own set of privilege. He's living actually in a state of privilege where she's living in a state of deprivation. He
Right.
is His biggest thing is like, oh my God, how can I handle these quads that I've been blessed with via
Mm-hmm.
whatever, method we were able to have these children. And she's like, dealing with the loss of a child, and their worlds have collided, if you will, in the effort to go forth with this lawsuit. Um, I don't know. I just you asked a little like, how does she go on, having lost both of them, and that's the thing. People either do or they don't. You know. they kind of soldier on how they can, or unfortunately they don't.
Now, the literary work of Shatter and the people is actually more or less a singular piece when it comes to all of the stories that are unparalleled in transitions. Now, Shatter to me, the setting and family dynamic was developed very early in the story, giving a sense of community and support from sister to sister. I know the auntie-niece relationship. I know the auntie-nephew relationship in the Black community very well. And I believe it's beneficial to the family structure. As Faye's auntie was leaving work on the day of Harmony's death, was she inclined to check on Harmony because she suspected she transitioned or pass away? What happened there?
So, once the person puts the art out, it's up to viewers or, consumers' interpretation. But that was more of a spiritual sense. That was not that Harmony had some, she was a ticking time bomb and she had some illness that was waiting to, get her. That was just, that was that auntie you got that just like knows things sometimes. Something told me to call you, or something told me, don't go down that street. I've definitely got them in my family. I don't know about you, but if it's not auntie, it's big mama or somebody who's like, no, not today, baby. Don't do that. So really, and I tried to illustrate that, in just some light phrases where like the little girl listening to her auntie say, go check on her. She okay?
Yeah.
Go check on her again. The little girl, she had a feeling in her gut, even though she didn't really perceive it. It's just slight, So yeah, that was not indicative of any sickness. That was indicative of just family intuition.
And I kind of had that strong indicator too, being as though you use such a mysterious way that, Harmony died due to an aneurysm, but then later on in the story, we found out that she was born as more or less a miracle, having suffered something, but that was also something that wasn't underlying. But an aneurysm sometimes comes up and you're like, well, the vein just burst,
That's literally like, oh, it was just clearly their time, because that is so random. Yeah.
Yes.
For a
Thank
child.
you for that. Yeah. I have another question about this story. So Harmony was younger than Faye or Sprinkles. Her death was very sad to read about, but the way you depicted how she was dressed was just simply lovely at the time of her funeral and her family viewing her. It was as if she'd be able to play in heaven in her red dress, red tights, and white Mary Jane shoes. When reading about the ruby ring that was placed on her finger by her mom, I was reminded of how women are described in the Bible and how we should be cherished as if we are precious, more precious than rubies. And that can actually be found in Proverbs 3:15. Can you talk about what this scene symbolizes, and particularly her dress?
Absolutely. So I will say I am not a biblical scholar, so that was not a biblical reference, but thank you for that. People and everyone has their perspectives and they will see different things. So I like that's out there. Red is many kind of color. It's a power color. It's a vital color. It's vibrant and it is lively. And I like to play with the juxtaposition. So she's dead. She's dead in a casket. She's as far from vibrant and vital as can be. Yet this is her final adornment, right? It's her final garb. And the ring just kind of seals the deal. It's just a token to show how precious a child is to a mother, that she's going to go and expend and the care to put this little detail that will never be seen, just because love is so deep. And this is going to be my last time to play doll baby with my little girl. It's not mentioned in the book in the story explicitly, but as I was writing, Harmony's character was envisioned to be about 8. So I don't know about you when you were 8, but my mom loved dressing me in these little dresses, and like that was her thing. I was her doll,
Yes.
Till I got old enough to really protest.
Yes, so, I wore dresses every day of my primitive years, so I understand.
Yeah.
And tights.
Yeah. So this was Mama's really last time to have that kind of experience with her child. So I think that it's just one of those little details that kind of heighten the tragedy of it,
Well, I just want to thank you so much for the positive responses that you've given today, Senyah. And I want to thank you so much for putting me into a place where I was able to cry while reading this last piece, Shatter. So just continue to do what you do. And thank you for your contributions to this anthology. I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you, Robyn. You too. Enjoy the balance of your weekend.
You too, Senyah. Bye-bye.